So I've just tried to end the show, but I am smart enough to stop technology from attempting to end this program. And I will say, I think it's important to start this show by saying we should begin with good old male toxic masculinity, JT, because you took Amina's job. And she was ready, coming back from a birthday celebration, all the way from Georgia back to New Jersey. She's feeling a little bit under the weather. She's on the Zoom virtual world, and you went out of your way to steal a job from a woman, but a woman of color.
Listen here, Cookie Monster. It's her birthday month. I didn't know whether she was gonna have a birthday week or a birthday month. She could have turned up all month. Okay.
How shameful is this?
I'm not bad.
Amina, do you have anything to say to this just horrid human?
I mean, I just think if you wanted to like really kick me off for good, you could have just told me that.
I mean, I would never kick you off.
Yeah, all right.
You're one of the newscasters I actually like. The other ones, like,
yikes.
What are the other ones' names? I can't even think of their names.
The other ones just caught the meanest stray of all time.
Yeah.
But hey, we appreciate what Amina does, because what Amina brings to the program is unlike anybody else. Now, Amina, wow, it's been a minute. It's been a while. This is almost a week in change. Amina, please deliver us the news.
Yeah.
All right. So in national news, yesterday, Republicans won a very slim House majority, returning the party to power in Washington and giving conservatives leverage to blunt President Joe Biden's agenda. More than a week after Election Day, Republicans secured the 218th seat needed to flip the House from Democratic control. The full scope of the party's majority may not be clear for several more days or weeks as votes in competitive races are still being counted. And in state news, the New Jersey Fish and Game Council voted unanimously during a meeting Tuesday to reinstate the state's annual bear hunt, citing a significant increase in bear sightings around the state. But animal conservationists are criticizing the decision, stating that it won't lead to a decrease in human and bear interactions. Alyssa Frank, New Jersey State Director for the Humane Society of the United States, suggested a Bear Aware program similar to what has been instated in Colorado, in which the state wildlife agency administers grants to help communities deal with human and bear conflicts. And in local news, a Montclair resident reported that he was in his living room when he heard a noise coming from his kitchen. When he entered the kitchen to investigate, he observed an unknown male standing by his rear door. The resident yelled at the suspect, who immediately fled through the rear door. The resident chased the suspect, however, he lost sight of him in Porter Park. The suspect was described as male with a stocky build, approximately 5'8" to 5'11", wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with the hood up, light colored pants, light blue jeans, and white sneakers. The suspect stole $200 from the victim's wallet. And looking at the weather today, it is partly cloudy and freezing with a high of 45 and a low of 32. And we have a 30 to 40% chance of snow this morning from 10 to 11.
Amina, what did you just say at the end of that right there?
I know we might get snow.
What?
Somebody's getting flurries.
My God, I hate snow. This place sucks. All right. Very quickly though. I mean, not for nothing, I was enjoying the warm November weather that was. It's probably a good idea that things started to cool down at some point. So, I guess I'll take this good old Arctic feeling of weather and deal with it for now. Because,
wait, y'all got beef with bears to the point where we had to have a whole law in place?
Yeah,
What's the beef with bears?
I feel like there's always been bear laws going on within this country.
Bear necessity.
Yeah. All right, you got to stop that. We're gonna get copyrighted. That's copyright. We can't sing that many.
Are cute, but they also be a little scary.
Really?
If not friend, why friend shaped?
Well, okay. So, and you just see a bear digging in your garbage can.
I go pet it.
He's catching the quickest fate of his lifetime.
I don't know.
One-on-one, I'm taking the bear down.
See,
easy
you're
like
the
that.
problem with America. Leave the bears alone.
No.
Bear lives matter.
Do
you do that with deer?
Yes.
Because I
Deer,
feel
I
like
would
there's
smack a
just as
deer
much
too.
deer as beer. As
The
You
deer
bears.
would
killed
catch these
Madden's
too.
mom. You're the hunter in these children's movies.
I'm not hunting. I'm saying get away from my property. All right. All right.
You're the white people in the beginning of Madagascar 2 that took Alex from the
Hey,
jungle
brother.
all the way to
Not-
Yippee-ki-yay. All right. And now, more importantly, I love a good sports conversation more than I love my deer and my bears.
Oh boy.
So I think it's
Yeah, I
best
doubt
that we
that.
transition
True.
into some good old sports talk. Go ahead, Campbell.
There you guys ass.
Hate you.
The University of Virginia Athletics Department has announced that the football game versus Coastal Carolina set for Saturday, November 19th, has been canceled. This comes in the aftermath of the tragic shooting on campus this past week that claimed the lives of 3 Virginia football players. NBA action last night. The Knicks beat the Denver Nuggets last night, 106 to 103, thanks to a 34-point triple-double by Julius Randle. Nets are in Portland tonight. Big hockey slate. Islanders in Nashville, Rangers in Seattle, and yes, the Devils are looking for 11 straight against the Leafs in Toronto. Thursday night football, Titans Packers at Lambeau Field. Baseball, we have your Cy Young winners. Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins unanimously wins it in the National League, and Justin Verlander, 2 seasons coming off Tommy John surgery of the Houston Astros, wins the AL Cy Young Award. MSU Sports, Nikki Carter last night scores 25 points in a win versus King's College, and Stephen Bremen, that's 17 in the victory over Marywood University. That is all for your 7 a.m. Sportscast. I'm Campbell Donovan for 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Thank you very much, Campbell. What a guy, what a time, what a life. Now, very quickly, before I move on, in one word, who takes the win this Thursday? Thursday night football action.
Packers.
There you go, guys. Packers winning it. Do what you want with that information. Now, as Amina cleans up the script, we travel to more midterm stuff. As previously mentioned in our news report, Republicans have officially won control of the U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday, which was yesterday, according to my clock. More than a week after Election Days, Republicans secured the 218th seat needed to flip the House from Democratic control. The full scope of the party's majority may not be clear for several more days or even multiple weeks because votes in competitive races are somehow still being counted. I think it's written. No, I'm kidding. But they're on track to cobble together what could be the party's narrowest majority of the 21st century, rivaling 2001 when Republicans had just 9 seats majority, when it was 221 to 212, and then there was 2 independents. Now, that's a far short of a sweeping victory the GOP predicted going into this year's red wave. The Monday had a great conversation about the red wave stuff. Republicans House leader Kevin McCarthy celebrated on Twitter, writing, "Americans are ready for a new direction, and House Republicans are ready to deliver." Now, President Biden congratulated McCarthy, saying he's ready to work with House Republicans and deliver results for working families. Last week's elections demonstrated the strengths and resilience of American democracy. There is a strong rejection on election deniers, political violence, and intimidation. There was an empathetic statement in that, in America, the will of the people prevails. He added that the future is too promising to be trapped in political warfare. Now, that is your weekly updates on midterms. Now, our good friend JT doesn't get to talk about this conversation because he didn't vote. Now, Amina,
You know what?
Amina, did you vote? Because you were traveling, you went all the way to Georgia. Did you happen to vote
I
this year?
did. I sure
Wow, Amina took a plane to Georgia and still managed to vote, but JT couldn't be bothered to do his civic duties.
Okay, Campbell. You really think you did something, huh?
Hey, bro,
You proud of yourself,
It
JT?
is what it is.
It is what it is. You
what-
probably voted for Herschel Walker. I don't want to hear.
I would absolutely vote for Herschel Walker because he's a real man's man. He knows what to do and how to know.
He's not even a real man's man. How you gonna know?
You're right. You're right. So I will say it's interesting to see yet again how the Republicans are kind of dealing with the fallout of what they projected to be a massive victory for them. I mean, either way, they still have control of the House, but it was definitely a lot shorter of control than they thought it would be. And I'm curious to see how this results and whether or not Biden is going to be able to get anything done in office or not. Now, I was kidding before, JT. I'd love to hear your opinions about this. What do you think going on within the House of Representatives?
I'm just cackling at the red
Cackling.
wave that they promoted. Like they were like that red wave, like Rod Wave was bigger than that red wave. So that was just horrible. It was more like a ripple, like skip a pebble into a river. Like I don't know what they were expecting, but we know. And then I think the best part, the most satisfying part about that to me is they're finally getting off of Trump. They're finally just like, realizing that their blind devotion to Agent Orange is keeping them back. They just it is so funny just saying all of them suddenly turn against them. They're all blaming him. They're all saying, you know what, we would have had a red wave, but Trump's holding us back after spending the last 3-4 years.
I like
all
how
their
that
faith
was
at
the final
devotion.
domino. It wasn't like racist comments or misogynist comments or throwing toilet paper at Puerto Rican people. It was this.
But
This is where we drew the line, Republicans. Good Lord.
But you know what though? Like, as much as I really hate to say it, somebody did make a point. One of them did make a point that actually made somewhat of sense, at saying we had the advantage. Like, just like the fact that the Dems have been in power for a while now, and just like a lot has been going wrong. Voters typically vote when they're sick of things. The only reason that we got Biden in office in the first place is because people were so sick of Trump. So people typically vote against what they're so sick of.
Well, Biden's
So he
not
was,
my
he was pretty
president.
much saying that he was pretty much saying like, yeah, we had the economy in our favor. We had all of this in our favor, but we lost because our entire party seems to be more so the party of Trump than just the Republican Party. And as much as I'm like, yeah, you're right. Whose fault is that? Yours.
You signed up for this journey ride. That is
Now he's running
Donald
again, and
Trump experience.
they're like, I don't even want him to run again. No doubt, who could have thought of that?
Either way, he still has his cult of random people in Ohio. So congratulations to them. I'm sure they're thrilled and very excited to see their Lord and Savior Donald Trump run for office yet again. Now, I think it's time we can move on from this story as we enter our next one.
I didn't think we can get any worse than Trump, but alas,
Here we are.
can. We have news in Idaho stabbings. Moscow police say they have not yet found a suspect in the stabbing of the 4 University of Idaho students. Authorities continue to believe that the attack was targeted, but walked back on a previous statement that there was no threat to the public. Moscow Police Chief James Fry said in a news conference, quote, investigators are working to follow up on all leads and identify a person of interest. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that this individual is still out there. We cannot say there is no threat to the community. According to the chief, all 4 victims were stabbed with a knife. However, there was no sign of forced entry, and a door was found open by the police when they first arrived. 2 other people were found alive, but and unhurt in the large home. The victims, 3 women and 1 man, all close friends, were found dead on Sunday afternoon by police responding to a report of the unconscious person at the home. Officials said they were likely killed several hours earlier. News of the slaying prompted many of the 11,000 students to leave the Idaho campus early for Thanksgiving break. University of Idaho President Scott Green also spoke at a news conference and said that the school will likely remain open for the rest of the week because some students do find comfort in being on campus with faculty and classmates. But the school is also giving excused absences to anybody else who is uncomfortable with staying and preferred to leave early. Honestly, that last part really like resonated home to me because like looking into this story, that was my first thought. I was like, how do they deal with like, how do you go back to class after that?
Exactly. It's one thing too, I think, not just like going back to class if they caught the person, but the fact that they have no clue even of who the suspect is up to this point, and it's been a few days, that is even more concerning as a person on campus. And I'd dip immediately. I'd be like, well, I'm not coming back until you guys at least find the guy, right?
I was thinking, and like as much as I tried not to be as cynical, my first thought was MSU would never. And then at first it was a little bit of a joke, and then it just got sad because I realized I'm right. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, MSU really would say, oh yeah, somebody died. That's sad. Still got class tomorrow. Better be there, otherwise.
I'm gonna mark you absent. Now I would like to throw it to Lana because you actually live on campus as well. So, how would you feel as if you were a person at the University of Idaho during this experience? Would you be uncomfortable? Would you just try to stay on campus? Would you leave early? What do you think is going through a lot of those kids' minds?
Honestly, I think I probably would be very uncomfortable with it too. And want to go home. I feel really bad for these students and the families of the victims. They shouldn't have to go through that, and I think the university is doing the right thing by like letting people have excused absences as well as being able to go home if they feel like they need be.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it's a grieving process. They shouldn't have to be forced to stay in an area where they feel unsafe.
Absolutely. Now, before we go to break, Amina, I feel like there's been two kind of huge instances of violence on a campus and deaths on two campuses, whether it's Virginia and then now the University of Idaho. How do you feel as a college student yourself as this is kind of going on around the country?
It's kind of like, it's actually really scary just because for most people, like college, like even though I go to school in state, I feel like you expect college to be that place where it's like you're not, like you are safe, like nothing's gonna happen to you compared to the real world. And I feel like for in both instances, it's like it's something that obviously you can't like prevent it from happening because it's just gonna happen. But it's like we shouldn't feel like, oh, this can happen at any time.
Yeah, I mean, especially like once like you said it perfectly. I feel that colleges you just imagine are supposed to be a safe space, but oftentimes it feels like it's not. And that's a sad thing that hopefully this country can fix at some point. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we got some more stories. We'll go to the West Coast for a crazy scene involving a bunch of officers.
West Side.
Para mucha gente del país, tener un día de tranquilidad con la
The Morning Buzz, the program that is every Thursday from 7 to 9. That is my call to all the turkeys out there. You are appreciated, and we love you. Did you guys know Popeyes, you could get a turkey?
You get a turkey at
A
Popeyes.
full Cajun turkey.
They be running out of chicken. How we gonna get turkey?
That's what I'm. No, but not for nothing. The reviews for the frozen turkeys are quite incredible.
Are they indeed?
Yeah, I don't think I would ever buy one, but it's cool to know that I guess you can buy one.
I want to try
listen.
Asian turkey.
I know. I kind of like the idea of a Cajun turkey, right? That sounds
Yeah.
pretty good.
Listen,
I
that
mean,
Asian turkey. And
I mean, I feel like you're giving a strange look right now. You're not a big fan of turkeys?
I am, but like, aren't we on a turkey shortage?
there's a turkey shortage.
Yeah, we're in a whole bird shortage at this
We're in a
point.
shortage of everything. Last
And
week
are
I
they
had-
like physically like, so if I walk into Popeyes right now, I could just say, can I get a frozen turkey?
Yeah, that's how it works pretty much. But
What?
you have like
You
a,
can
up
get a
into a
full
certain
turkey?
date, I think like the week before
there's
Thanksgiving.
a shortage of everything right now. Last week I was told we have there's a national shortage of salad for Olive Garden.
Hey, bro.
Like I'm like, what don't we have a shortage of? We don't have change. We don't have salad.
Not
and
for
now
nothing.
apparently we don't have turkey.
At Walmart, we don't even have rotisserie chickens the last time I worked there. I will say, made my job significantly easier. And hey, not for nothing, but the next upcoming story would probably make life a lot harder for most people. And it's very sad and disappointing what's going on over there in Los Angeles, as the driver of an SUV veered into the wrong lane, plowing through dozens of Los Angeles County Sheriff Academy recruits running information during a training exercise early yesterday morning. 25 of the cadets were left injured, and the injuries varied in seriousness, as some suffered head trauma, broken bones, and even loss of limb. 5 people were critically injured, 4 had moderate injuries, and 16 had minor injuries. And Sheriff Alex Villanueva said, quote, "So far it looks like it's an accident or a horrific accident. The scene was described as the aftermath of an airplane wreck." Villanueva added, "There were so many bodies scattered everywhere in different states of injury that it was pretty traumatic for all individuals involved." About 75 recruits from the Los Angeles Sheriff Department and several local police agencies were running information in the street just before 6:30 a.m. in the Los Angeles suburb of Whittier, when the driver veered into the wrong lane and struck the runners before crashing into a nearby light pole. The driver was identified only as a 22-year-old man from suburban Diamond Bar who suffered a minor injury. The sheriff said a field sobriety test on the driver was negative. Now,
Wait, does that mean he was drunk or no?
no, he
No.
passed his test. He was not drunk. Good Lord. I'm curious to know how he ended up on the wrong lane. That seems like a fairly easy concept of driving, staying in one lane, but I'm assuming maybe he was just very tired driving in the morning and fell asleep at the wheel is what I would imagine would be the excuse there.
Apparently being too tired, knowing how tired you are, that could also still be considered driving under the influence.
Hey, then I would be quite guilty.
Well, it's like
Um,
I'm not talking about like just like a little tired of lack of sleep. I'm talking about like if you know you're tired to the point. We've all been in that moment where we're so tired. Literally, if you sit down for more than 2 minutes, you're probably gonna fall asleep.
Hey, bro, not for nothing, but I had to get home, man.
And
And
if you-
sometimes you have to. I think me and Cam had this conversation in the summer. It's like you got to put the windows down, music at 100% on the speakers, and a whole lot of praying.
Nah,
if
but
it's
like if you
snowing?
get behind a wheel,
Snow, I'm not
knowing,
gonna take my chances.
Nah,
Not in
but
my
if you-
car.
if you get behind a wheel knowing you're in that state where it's like you are literally falling asleep walking, like we've been there before. You get behind a wheel doing that. But I think it's depending on the state and the circumstance. But depending on what happens if you crash, you could still be considered under the influence. It's not like you're drunk or anything, but
How do you prove that though? How do you know I'm tired? You can't test my
I mean,
tiredness.
the fact that you fell asleep driving.
No, you're right. You're
How
right.
do you know I pulled an all-nighter?
Yeah. See, I'm not under the influence of tiredness.
Better call Saul.
I will say, I think the most insane part of this story is that someone lost a limb. I don't know what limb, but the fact that you were training to do your police and become someone for the people, hopefully, fingers crossed, and you lose a limb while just training in the morning, That's pure insanity, man.
Not going to be an officer no more.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Wishing the best for these guys and women involved within this incident. And man,
Thoughts
what a
and prayers.
shameful event, man. Mm-mm-mm. What do we got next, JT?
More shameful events, apparently.
This would
another
probably
thing to
be
do with
the
another
most-
car. Why
An
y'all
SUV
need,
again.
y'all need to learn
Jeez.
how to drive. This time we're
Y'all have
talking
to
about
stop
Milwaukee.
driving in general. Good
Period.
lord.
Um,
Just walk places now.
For those of y'all who could use a refresher, last November, a man drove his SUV through a Christmas parade in suburban Milwaukee, killing 6 people and injuring so many others. Yesterday, he was sentenced to life with no chance of parole. A judge rejected arguments from him and his family that mental illness drove him to do it. 40-year-old Darrell Brooks Jr. was found guilty of 76 charges, including counts of first-degree intentional homicide and 61 counts of reckless endangerment. Each homicide count carried a mandatory life sentence, and the judge refused to allow Brooks to serve any portion of those sentences on extended supervision and the community, the state's current version of parole, especially seeing as Wisconsin does not have the death penalty. The gallery applauded as the life sentences were announced, and moments later, Brooks was sentenced to 762 years in prison on the endangerment counts. Judge Jennifer Doro said yesterday, quote, "Frankly, Mr. Brooks, no one is safe from you. This community can only be safe if you are behind bars for the rest of your life. You left the path of destruction, chaos, death, and injury and panic as you drove 7 or so blocks through the Christmas parade." On Wednesday, before the judge handed down her sentence, Brooks told the court that he suffered from mental illness since he was young and didn't plan to drive into the parade route. He also offered his first apology to the dozens of people who were hurt or lost loved ones during the incident. Doro said before she handed down the sentences that she doesn't believe that Brooks is mentally ill, saying, quote, "It is my opinion that mental health issues did not cause him to do what he did on November 21st, 2021, and frankly didn't play a role. It is very clear to me that he understands the difference between right and wrong, and he simply chooses to ignore his conscience. He is fueled by anger and rage." Oh, a point that I forgot to mention. Apparently, he did this after a big fight with his girlfriend, and I'm guessing she came to the conclusion that his little fit of road rage was due to a recent fight where he wasn't thinking, and I guess she feels like he's trying to hide behind the mental illness.
That's the problem with people, is that they like to use that as an actual excuse for their actions. When
Well,
there are people obviously going through mental illnesses and struggles, that's understandable. But
Well,
this
there's
guy
the
used
argument-
that as like his last ditched effort to not be in jail. And I
Well,
think
there's
that's
the
dirtiest
argument
part.
that like I've had this debate with people before, and they always say, "Well, if you kill that many people, clearly something's not right with you." And I'm like, well, yes. So then you have to look at the type of mental illness. Then there's a whole debate of well, all mental illness is mental illness, but there's things like certain diagnoses, while it's all considered mental illness, simple cases of bipolar disorder, you still have cognitive right and wrong decision making.
Mhm.
So while I might have been diagnosed as a mood disorder, which I was when I was younger, I still know right and wrong. So I can't get out there and murder 7 people and then blame my mood disorder. Like, it's not going to be the same thing as somebody who has severe case of Asperger's and literally cannot stop their brain from going places. And yeah, those people might have somewhat of a defense that still doesn't excuse what they do, but it's just a different thing between somebody whose brain cannot differentiate right from wrong and somebody who just has a little bit of an imbalance that just causes them to act irrationally. Like, you're still responsible at the end of the day. And that's what this judge was saying. And him and his family tried it. But eventually, with all the destruction, especially after a simple fight with his girlfriend, it just wasn't enough for the judge. So he is not living out all of them years.
Not at all. Mm-mm-mm. What a shame, man. That's whack, man. He really tried to use that excuse. Mm-mm. Now let's go ahead and just move on to our next story. Why not? Let's talk about snow. Yes. Good old snow. And I'm not talking about the fun snow. I'm talking about the bad snow.
Is there fun snow?
We're not
Depends on who
talking
you're
about
asking.
snow, but I can't name
Western New York is in the midst of a brutal winter storm. We here in New Jersey, we ain't built for that. But according to forecasters, this week's lake effect snowfall in the
Why don't you go to
region
Boston?
is expected to be paralyzing. The multi-day snowfall has already begun, as inches of snow have already fallen in parts of New York, and several feet of snow are still in the forecast for the metro areas of Buffalo, Watertown, and even Northwest Pennsylvania through Thursday
Watertown.
and Friday. Snowfall rates Watertown. Snowfall rates in some spots may reach up to 3 inches per hour, with snow piling up to 4 feet in some local areas. Some experts predict 9 inches of snow will be the end total at the minimum. The National Weather Service in Buffalo said this will be part of a prolonged lake effect snow event, which will likely include paralyzing snowfall for the Buffalo and Watertown areas later this week through the weekend. And as cold air moves from Canada, it will race over the warmer water of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. That warmer water will cause the air to rise, forming clouds and eventually snow. The wind will then push the clouds over an area or areas east of the lake, dumping incredible amounts of snow, in this case, for days at a time. Now, Governor Kathy Hochul issued a state of emergency beginning this morning ahead of a winter storm forecast that will affect much of the state until Sunday.
So on Sunday, I'm going to be seeing a white plow and barely football players on the field watching the Bills game.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a
thank you.
high possibility that
6
you are
inches.
going to watch 6 inches of pure white dust fall upon number 68 and number 32 as they go from end zone to end zone. Thank you very much. Nah, that's not for nothing. That seems very unpleasant, not only for the fans involved at the stadium and the players, because it's cold, man. That's why I'm saying every stadium at this point should just be a dome. All right.
I was
Thank you.
watching.
Just put a dome. There's no need to like put people through cold weather situations if you have the resources to put a roof.
I was
The-
watching Jeff Dunham and
Why? I feel like I should mute your mic right now. Who is perfectly watching Jeff Dunham at this
Listen,
point in time?
not this one. It was
The
a while
puppet
back.
guy.
It was a while back. But
Oh,
it was a Netflix special. And something that he had mentioned. He was in Green Bay for a show, and he just decided, while I'm in town, let's see a Green Bay Packers game because I have nothing else better to do before my show tonight. And he mentioned that there was no dome. And the guy was like, think about it. This is Green Bay. Green Bay is where precisely? I know it's cold.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. So it's freezing. Football season is from late August till February. So right when it starts to get cold, all the way to when it is freezing. And this is Wisconsin. And the architects who built the stadium did not put a roof.
it just makes no logical sense.
Yeah, in Texas, they
They-
built a roof over the Astrodome in the 60s.
As they should. Well, that is a weird thing, you know. Why?
Listen.
Why do you know that?
Why do I know that?
Like, did you Google that?
No,
That's just a random fact, you know.
well, I know that because so a little hobby of mine, I like to research theme parks that have been defunct or abandoned.
Okay.
And right across the street was
That's such a
Astroworld.
specific
Interesting.
hobby. I
That
like
is
that.
very
Yeah.
R/oddly
Strategic.
specific, guys. That's kind of cool.
On the bright.
That'd be great if you're ever on Jeopardy one day. I feel like that's a Jeopardy question, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
Astrodome, duh.
Yeah.
On the
Gosh.
bright side, I am filming a Christmas themed music video, and I was
Man,
about to
nobody
spend
cares about
I
your
was about to
music.
spend
Anyway,
$100
we're
on
moving
snow.
on. We're not
I was
going there.
about to spend I'm gonna say what I was gonna say. Cookie Monster. I
Call
was
him
about
Cookie Monster.
to spend $100 on a snow machine, but it's looking like I don't need to. I'm gonna get natural lighting.
Have you ever seen the video the first time Cookie Monster had a cookie?
No, but I imagine it's pretty
No.
groundbreaking.
I imagine it's you. Isaiah, in your pajamas, eating a cookie for the first time and completely greening out. Over
I don't
your
really
first
even wear
chocolate chip.
pajamas like that.
Oh,
Nah.
this is a very family friendly show, Isaiah. We didn't need to know that.
Like I wear sweatpants and like a sweatshirt. Like not your normal
Like a pajama set.
yeah, like a pajama set. That
I
people
don't wear
wear.
pajamas. I just wear a pajama set. I'm different. I'm quirky.
No, I just said I don't wear pajamas. You're not listening. See, now you first it was your toxic masculinity in the first hour, and then now you hate when Hispanic people talk on air. Good Lord, man. We need to solve this problem. But very quickly before we go on to our next story, Amina, final thoughts about the snow going on here. Are you just thankful it's not in New Jersey at least?
I mean, I feel like it's nearby states, so it's just gonna blow over here.
Oh,
But I mean, it's not here right now, so yes. But I'm actually happy that it's snowing because I like when it snows when I'm inside.
what?
'Cause, like, you ever just open your window a day after like we get like 12 feet of snow? It's just like a nice white canvas.
Isn't
It
it?
is a beautiful sight, but
This is
then
the Hallmark
we'll
in
have
her
to shovel
speaking.
it.
That is true. This is
Oh,
very Hallmark of you,
please.
Amina.
It's pretty.
I
but
will
it's
say,
also
yeah,
cold.
it is pretty. I'll give you that. It looks nice, but man,
And
is
then-
it a double-edged sword? Mm-mm-mm.
You
I mean,
know?
like, I don't even get the it looks pretty argument. It looks like it could be sugar, it could be salt, it could be things I'm not sure if I should say. It could be a whole lot of things.
It's frozen water.
I don't even know how to talk about what you just said there, but we're gonna move on to our next story. Let's talk some soccer. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, football. New York City Football Club will finally have a home stadium of its own after bringing its city the first professional championship in a decade. Willets Point, an industrial section of Queens, is set to be transformed into a stadium for the club, so fans won't need to go all the way to Yankee Stadium to watch a match. Yesterday, Mayor Eric Adams announced the plans for the stadium, which will have 25,000 seats, and it will be the first significant major league sport venue to be built in a city since 2012. City officials believe that the new stadium will make New York City a national soccer capital, laying the groundwork for the next chapter in NYCFC and MLS history. The project aims to breathe new life into the industrial part of the borough, made up of the City Field, the new soccer stadium, and the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, which hosts the U.S. Open. NYC Councilmember Francisco Moya said in a statement, quote, "This was something that was already discussed in prior administrations during the de Blasio administration. They received over $6.5 million, and I believe it was to relocate." End quote. NYC owns the land and it will lease to the NYCFC. The stadium will be reported to be finished in 2027.
How do
Can
you?
I just say,
Hmm.
before you go, these
Mm.
things have too many words in their name. Now you can go on.
Oh no,
Sorry.
you're good. How do you play soccer in a baseball stadium?
Oh,
Well, you can change that.
That's a
Yankee
great
Stadium
idea.
is like
That-
transformed a lot of
great. That's
times into
great.
different
Of course.
stadiums. So it's kind of just like you're changing the paint and
I
things.
mean,
But
they
it's a
literally-
huge stadium. They play football games and soccer games there.
But there's a
Concerts.
pitcher's mound. What do you do with that?
It's so basically what they do is they take the outfield and that's what they use. They use it as the playing surface and they just like cover up the infield. But I think it's funny that, NYCFC playing in Yankee Stadium. You move over to Queens after you play in the Bronx and you play right across the street from where the Mets play. I think that's a little too funny.
That's funny.
Little too funny. I mean,
Look at that little sports nugget right there. That's why we get a Campbell Donovan on the show. All right. I wouldn't have known that, Campbell, but that's hilarious.
Also, Lana, think about it how Madison Square Garden is mainly known for concerts, but it's also a basketball court. It could also be a hockey court,
Sir.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
sir,
Yeah.
it is the mecca of
Everything.
sport.
This is
It's
true.
the
Why is
mecca
it
of
called a
everything.
garden?
Because Lana, it's the greatest venue in America.
But there's
Back
no
in the
garden.
1940s, we used to actually have a garden inside Madison Square Garden. That's why we called it the Madison Square Garden.
That's why they call it the Garden in Boston too.
Yep.
I have a friend
I'm
who
confused.
performed in that stadium several times, and I'm just like, wait, isn't that the same place the Nets play or somebody plays? Who plays in Madison Square Garden? I don't know.
The
this.
Knicks.
The Knicks.
The
The
Knicks,
Knicks,
the
and then the
Rangers.
Nets play at Barclays.
See, like, okay, I understand like how they would be able to like have concerts and then basketball games so you could cover the floor.
Imagine going
Yeah.
to see a
But how
basketball.
Get the ice for the hockey game.
Imagine
They-
going to
they
a
spread
basketball
out
game and they say,
and
"Everybody
then
get
move
out! Taylor
on.
Swift is going to be here in 2 minutes." Like,
That's just like the Prudential Center.
This is too much
Yeah.
for my brain this morning.
Lana's struggling right now.
yeah, because she decides to go on a show that ranges from 10 to 12 the
Yikes.
night before she has to be up at 5.
Yikes, double yikes, triple yikes, and quadruple yikes. Not for nothing though. I think just the idea of a stadium in New York is always appealing, and
I don't think it is.
I think they just look cool.
More unnecessary traffic.
No. Visually,
Thank
like
you.
if I'm watching on ESPN and I see a skyline at a stadium, I'm like, oh, isn't that nice? No, y'all are anti-visual
Listen,
things.
when I've gone to the city just for a night out in the city and I made the mistake of doing it during a Rangers game, and the entire Penn Station is just flooded with blue and white jerseys and drunk Caucasian middle-aged men, and especially when they've lost and they're all angry and heated and they're
It's
just
all right,
yelling and
JT.
starting
It's all right.
problems.
Hey,
I
man.
remember
JT.
like, bro, I'm just like,
Sometimes, JT,
can
you-
y'all go somewhere, go bathe, go take a shower. Some of y'all have not done that in decades. I can tell.
Yikes.
Some of y'all only live for hockey.
he's
Just
letting it
get
fly. He's
out.
letting it fly. Well, on that point, JT, we're gonna say goodbye, and when we come back, we have Lana's critically acclaimed segment. back here on the Morning Buzz, guys. And there really is never a right time to say goodbye, but we are saying hello because we are back here on the Morning Buzz. What a time to be alive. The program at an all-time high.
Yes,
Amina
sir.
coming to you live from her living room.
My room.
Oh, Amina,
You for-
that's my bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
well.
see the balloons?
we see it.
Hey, happy birthday month, Amina.
Like,
How do you feel?
national
It's been
I feel great.
feel great, feeling better than ever, according to Amina, guys. Hey, guys, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, a time in which nothing can compare it to, because it is time for Lana's Kicking It Back with Lana segment. Take it away, Lana.
You need a jingle.
Oh, we just got copyrighted.
You know what? JT, if you could write me a jingle.
Lana, Lana, kicking it back with. Please shut my mic off.
I feel like whoever's editing this episode, become a musician and go ahead and edit that together. So we'll play it on air.
Well, our first movie is Disenchanted, which comes out tomorrow on Disney Plus. It's very PG. Everybody remember the first Enchanted movie?
Yes.
I do.
I only remember watching it because at the ending, Carrie Underwood's song is absolutely fire.
You're a big Carrie Underwood fan.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Well,
Carrie Underwood gets the rep.
This one is the long-awaited sequel of that. It is set 10 years after the first movie, and Giselle is questioning her happily ever after.
Oh
Um,
man.
and accidentally makes everyone's life turn upside down in both the real world and in the animated kingdom of Andalasia, of where she is from.
And
Spider-Man No Way Home?
Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, that's what this is sound.
Spider-Man No Way Home?
You know what? I don't know whether I'm sick of this trope we're just getting of just just adding sequels to movies decades after the original, but I think the scummy part is the fact that it's not gonna stop because that's what people want, and it's like
Yeah.
it's lazy in a way, and like these movies did not need sequels, but at the same time they picked the right movies to do it with. And it's just an automatic seller. So I go into these movies knowing they're not going to be good, knowing they're not going to touch the originals. But it's just the overall like curiosity of, this movie is 15 years late. I just want to see what it looks like.
Mhm.
Nothing like a good nostalgia bait, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amina, are you excited for this? Did you know about this?
I did.
Oh, you're ready.
actually. I feel like I don't really look at it as like a part two, because I feel like if I was like a little kid and I never saw the first one, I could easily watch this without having that like background.
Okay.
So I feel like movies like that is like, it's fine. And I feel like that's kind of what Disney is trying to do with this. Like, not necessarily market it as like a sequel. Obviously we know it's a sequel because we saw the first one, but basically give the new audience of kids something similar without redoing it.
I think that's probably why they didn't call it Enchanted 2. Maybe that's why they went with the whole Disenchanted thing.
It's a
Kind
requel.
of separate that. You say it's a requel?
Yes.
That sounds
If you
wrong.
watched another one of these movies, Scream it's Scream 5. They just called it Scream. There's if you're familiar with any of the movies in the Scream franchise, you
What's
realize
your
how
favorite
meta
horror
they
movie?
are. You realize how meta they are and how they just make fun of the movie genres in general. And in the new one, the recent one, there's a part in it where they kind of tackle what a lot of these movies are doing. And that's where they came up with the term requel. And the logic going into it is you can't just create a straight sequel, but you also can't create anything new. So you're kind of playing this weird middle ground where you're trying to pay homage to what came before while also giving fans something new. And they started giving examples. They said Star Wars, Harry Potter,
Potter,
everything, pretty much everything. And they came up with the term requel because it's not quite a sequel. It's not quite something completely new. You got to get a new sprinkle of new characters. You got to bring in the legacy characters. And we're just seeing it with everything that was popular in the 90s and early 2000s that, was supposed to be like, a staple of their time, left it alone, never to be revived again. And now we have new Halloweens, new Chuckies, new Hocus Pocus, new the Tim Allen Santa Claus. He's so
For
old.
real?
Yeah, they're making
Yeah.
a series about that. He's so
That's
old.
A
He doesn't even need makeup to look like Santa anymore. That's how old he
Wow.
is.
And he's a part of it?
He's a part of it.
Wow. That's a
I
shocker.
considered putting that on here.
Mm. So it's out this week.
Yes, it
Is that a bonus edition of Kicking It Back with Lana?
We can have it as a
Wow.
bonus edition.
That's a
Yay.
shocker. We just got
And the
breaking
sad
news.
part is, I know what these all are, and I'm still
You're
going
still gonna
to
watch them,
them.
man. As much as we're gonna complain about it, we're still gonna end up turning on Disney Plus, turn on HBO, going to the theater, and watching these movies. Because at the end of the day,
What else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
also it's like maybe that is what we want, and we just gotta stop complaining. Go ahead though, Lana. What's next?
Well, I was thinking of coming back to our second movie to go off of a tangent that like JT has started. Not tangent, but like
Oh, we can
Yeah, it was-
continue it. Yeah,
yeah.
seriously, we do what you want, Lana.
Yeah.
You make the rules as you go.
I like this. So A Christmas Story Christmas comes out today. On HBO Max and is rated PG.
Weird day for a release, huh?
Yeah.
Random Thursday in November.
Yeah.
All right.
So this movie is now set in the 70s, as the first film was set in the 40s, and now follows an adult Ralphie who is back to his childhood home on Cleveland Street and wants to deliver his kids the magical Christmas he had.
It's so nice. I will say I saw the trailer for this one because one, I do like the original. I think it's personally probably my favorite Christmas movie. But I saw the trailer and I'm probably gonna watch this one at
Mhm.
some point. But man, it's almost like you're going to be in a car crash and you just accepted that. And I feel like that's what this movie is. Like I know it's probably not going to be any good, but I can't stop myself from watching it because I'm already invested. And it doesn't look, my expectations were very bad. I think it might just end up being bad, And at max, it's going to be like good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? I've seen a lot of trashy Hulu movies. So why not take a chance on A Christmas Story Christmas? JT,
Yes.
what are you thinking here?
I don't even know. Christmas Story is just so funny to me. Not funny, haha, funny, weird. Just the
Mhm.
concept.
Oh, no, it makes no sense at all. There's a lot of flaws.
Our general manager Annabella Poland said it best. I don't know if it was last week or a couple of weeks ago when
Yeah.
we were discussing Christmas movies, and she said, especially it's from somebody who's not from America, said just the concept is so weird for me. Merry Christmas, my 10-year-old. Here's a gun.
Not only that, like that's a significant problem, and that's like the whole premise of the movie. But also, Ralphie might be the worst friend on the planet Earth.
No, that's Greg
because-
Heffley.
Huh?
That's Greg Heffley.
I don't know about got time for Diary of the Kid. I'm not for nothing, but like he got his friend in trouble with his mom. Like he was getting beat up pretty much. I mean, what is Ralphie's deal? He's just an all-around terrible person to be around. But hey, at least he got his Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah. I always felt bad for his brother. He got
Yeah.
bundled up so
What was with,
Also, his brother's kind of annoying though. Like,
what was with this trend of like quote unquote protagonist in like the 90s and early 2000s where like you would just have a tween menace as a protagonist that was just the worst friend imaginable, and somehow we were supposed to root for them. Like looking back at these movies, the last time I rewatched Christmas Story and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I just see
why are you watching Diary of a Wimpy Kid in 2022?
listen, sometimes I like to reconnect with my childhood.
Nah,
and
but
I
there are
remember-
better
my
options out there.
gosh.
I'm gonna stop you. We do not need to watch that terrible movie. Lana, we got one more movie. We'll save
Excuse
the
me?
games for hour 2. But what do we got here?
So now going on a bit of a deeper tone, She Said comes out tomorrow in theaters and is rated R. This movie stars Carey Mulligan and Zoe Krazan as two New York Times reporters who together broke one of the most important stories regarding the intergeneration. This story helped propel the Me Too movement and shatter decades of silence around the subject of sexual assault in Hollywood. and altered American culture forever.
Is that a documentary or are
which,
they acting?
They're acting.
which,
So
um,
it's like a biopic.
Which scandal were they in? It
Um,
feels like
Harvey Weinstein.
It's kind of
I-
odd that would also be a movie though.
I forgot that Sue started it. For some reason, I always thought R. Kelly was the one that kind of just like blew up the Me Too movement because that's the first one I remember. I remember the R. Kelly thing kind of prompting the flurry of documentaries that was coming out. You had R. Kelly. Then I remember Harvey Weinstein. Then I remember the whole
Epstein.
Michael Jackson thing coming back to it. Like that was already settled back in the 80s. And then the kids were like, wait a minute, everybody's making money about talking about their stuff. Let's just rehash that. And then Chris Brown got to making a documentary. I think that was the dumbest one.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people that are just like
Trying to make money
Yeah.
off of that.
off of this, and sadly, but
I think that one confused me the most because like the whole thing about that was like Chris Brown knew what he did. Like that was just something that him and Rihanna kind of agreed like should have never happened. They just kind of came to like an unspoken agreement to just move past that and never discuss it, which is why Chris Brown still kind of has a career. Like he never tried to defend himself or anything. He just like him and Rihanna just went their separate ways and moved on. And then all of a sudden, in the height of the documentaries, you want to come out with one all of a sudden trying to explain your
my
side of it.
side of things.
Like it was like, no, buddy, we agreed to just shut up.
Yeah, no, we were good on that, but good for these people getting their story out there even more and exposing the monster that was and still is Harvey Weinstein. On that note, guys, we are going to take a quick break here on the Morning Buzz. When we come back, we got some more stories and things. Isn't that nice? here. And that was Ain't It Fun by Paramore. What a time to be alive, guys. Thank you, Paramore, for guiding us through such hard times. And as a child, as I was listening to that song, I never understood. But apparently, it kind of is hard being in the real world. They don't really tell you
As
that
a
in the
child, I was
textbooks.
waiting to be an adult.
Yeah, and then you became an adult, and it was like,
Then I became an adult, and I was like, yeah, bills stink, but I still would rather pay all my own bills than be told what to do. I was a rebel child.
you were a little rebel, huh?
I was.
You know who's also
No.
there's really no transition here. I mean, we got some news to talk about.
Yeah.
That's the transition we get today. But
I didn't
Amina's
know how
back,
you were gonna
everyone.
shift
I call
into
Amina a
that.
rebel. You called me misogynistic? Get out of here. Give me
Hey,
the
bro,
board.
it's not as good as when you do it. You
Give
should
me the
try better.
board.
You just don't have the
I don't have what?
personality for it, okay?
I don't have the stupid accents.
Nice try, but your accent's still terrible. Anyways, Amina has some real news to talk about because the world could be on fire, or maybe some good things are happening. Who knows? Amina, take it away.
In national news, yesterday, Republicans won a very slim House majority, returning the party to power in Washington and giving conservatives leverage to blunt President Joe Biden's agenda. More than a week after Election Day, Republicans secured the 218th seat needed to flip the House from Democratic control. The full scope of the party's majority may not be clear for several more days or weeks as votes in competitive races are still being counted. And in state news, the New Jersey Fish and Game Council voted unanimously during a meeting Tuesday to reinstate the state's annual bear hunt, citing a significant increase in bear sightings around the state. But animal conservationists are criticizing the decision, stating that it won't lead to a decrease in human and bear interactions. Alyssa Frank, New Jersey State Director for the Humane Society of the United States, suggested a bear-aware program similar to what has been instated in Colorado, in which the state wildlife agency administers grants to help communities deal with human and bear conflicts. And in local news, a Montclair resident reported that he was in his living room when he heard a noise coming from his kitchen. Upon approaching the kitchen to investigate, he observed an unknown male standing by his rear door. The resident yelled at the suspect, who immediately fled through the rear door. The resident was chased, however, he lost sight of him in Porter Park. The suspect was described as male with a stocky build, approximately 5'8" to 5'11", wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with the hood up, light colored pants, light blue jeans, and white sneakers. The suspect stole $200 from the victim's wallet. And your weather today, it is partly cloudy and freezing with a high of 45 and a low of 32. And we can expect a 30 to 40% chance of snow in the next couple of hours.
I mean, I thought we were gonna have some good things to close out the news report here at 8 a.m. and you crushed my soul.
You thought she was feeling you? No.
Oh man, not Ice Spice this early. Good
Oh
old
my
Campbell.
gosh.
Campbell, man, the myth, the legend, sports world. It's incredible. Sports world, 24/7. Sports world, your time to shine. Take it away.
Thank you. The University of Virginia Athletics Department has announced that the football game versus Coastal Carolina, set for Saturday, November 19th, has been canceled. This comes in the aftermath of the tragic shooting on campus this past week that claimed the lives of 3 Virginia football players. NBA action last night. The Knicks beat the Denver Nuggets 106 to 103 thanks to a 34-point triple-double by Julius Randle. The Nets are in Portland tonight. Big hockey slate. Islanders in Nashville, Rangers in Seattle, and the Devils are looking for win number 11 consecutively against the Leafs in Toronto. Thursday night football, Titans and Packers at Lambeau Field. Baseball, we have your Cy Young winners. Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins wins it unanimously for the National League, as Justin Verlander, 2 seasons coming off of Tommy John surgery of the Houston Astros in the AL, wins it. Montclair State Sports, Nikki Carr scores 25 points in a win last night against Kings College, and Stephen Breedman, that's 17 for the men's basketball team in the victory against the Marywood University. That's all for your 8 a.m. Sportscast. I'm Campbell Donovan for 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Thank you very much, Campbell. Now, as promised previously, in hour one of the Morning Buzz Thursday edition, the greatest singular program in program history. Alana, we got to talk some gaming before we get started into the rest of the stories. This might be the single greatest week of Alana's gaming segment within the history of Lana's
Ooh.
gaming segment.
Thank you. Well, sometimes you just want to be the best that there ever was. You want to catch them all.
Yeah.
I said it, and I'm standing by it.
I respect it.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet comes out tomorrow. They are the first Pokemon open world RPGs in the series. As you enjoy the hallmarks of the series, meeting, teaming up, and battling, training, and trading Pokemon, you'll be able to immerse yourself in a newly evolved adventure.
Wow. Lana, are you getting the Pokemons or no?
So I've never been that huge into Pokemon. I mean, I have friends who are.
Mhm.
So I think I might like watch people play it, but I'm not sure I'm gonna get it.
Solid
myself.
pass for you.
Lana, I have a question. Are you going to be the best that no one ever was? Or are you not going to catch them all?
That's a lot to live up to.
Every time a Pokemon game comes out, chaos ensues. Remember all the police that ended up getting fired for not going to calls because they were playing Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I feel like that was only one time. Though,
No,
right?
I saw a
For
couple
every
of stories.
Pokemon release, they just be going crazy.
I saw a couple of stories. The first one I thought
Yo.
was funny, and then I saw another one, and I think I saw a third one. I was like, why
There's
is this
some-
game so
yeah.
popular with the police?
There are some wild stories about Pokemon Go and police, whether or not they was not doing their job or they definitely weren't doing their job. Just like how are you going to be on force while just catching a Snorlax as like
imagine,
a robbery?
imagine a robbery or murder happens like 2 blocks down, and your
That's
soldier goes.
happened.
Imagine your soldier goes,
covered
"What
that on the
happened?"
show.
And they go, Pikachu is here.
Yeah.
Find him. So you caught Pikachu before you caught the robber.
Like they have
Yes.
cameras.
But
Like
Pikachu's adorable.
that is true. I wonder if he
Pikachu is
evolved.
ultimately more important than your life.
Oh, is that special guest Pikachu here? Pikachu, what do we feel about your game coming out?
Pika.
Thank you very much, Pikachu. Pleasure to hear that.
Current
Uh,
are so much better than his.
Now, Lana, you were very excited about this next game.
Oh yeah.
excited.
So, we've had a lot of goats in our lives, a lot of greatest all times.
Wow. Was not expecting that's where you're going to take it, but take it away.
But we
Lana.
need to talk about the original goat,
OG?
the goat itself. Goat Simulator 3 comes
Wow.
out today. It made sense. I'm gonna say it made sense.
I know that makes sense. I think I'm just perplexed on how we have 3 versions of Goat Simulator.
Yeah, but you know what makes this one different than all the others?
Tell me.
It's multiplayer.
No way.
You can play with your friends, up to 4 players,
Oh,
go on adventures as a goat, jumping, headbutting, licking,
What?
lick.
Okay.
It's what a goat does.
I thought that's what I heard.
What a goat
That's
does.
that's a stretch there.
I don't. do
In
that.
the huge island that is San Angora. And
What?
you have this time you got new areas, new challenges, and new events to discover. So go wreak some havoc with your friends
Mm.
as a goat.
As a
Gora
goat.
does not sound real. It sounds like a made-up town and a Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
3 versions of Goat Simulator. Good
Crazy.
lord. And the fact that they have a storyline within it, that San Angora. Lana, have you played Simulator 1 and 2 or no?
I have not, but
man.
I saw this last night and I'm like,
Had to be done.
that's what we're talking
I
about.
respect the hustle.
I even wasn't sure because there was also I was in between 3 games
Mm.
because there was a new Call of Duty that came out this week.
Ah,
And I actually needed to ask some advice from our sports director and our assistant programming director, Cam and Jake, which 2 do you think people would want to hear more? And they said these 2. So,
hey man. Shout out to good old goats and guns, apparently. Take that as you will. Let's move on though to our first story of our 2. Thank you very much, Lana, as always.
Of course.
Now, guys, $1,000 for one cut. Let me explain. The struggles can be real for us who dabble in getting their haircuts, especially being a college student. You know, time, money for a fresh cut, it can be hard to find. But one man was apparently emptying his pockets for his cuts. The man, the myth, the legend, known as Diddy, revealed in an Instagram post how much he shells out for a haircut. Diddy revealed it's $1,000 a cut. Knowing fans would likely be shocked by the huge sum, he explained, for real, because this is my barber, and I share my barber with the world. He's one of the best, but I'm outside. Outside! So I need my hair done every 5 minutes. Furthermore, Diddy is happy to shell out even more if he has to keep his barber around for the day. My daily price is $5,000, he said, before adding, I'm just telling you the truth. Diddy then turned to his celebrity barber Marcus, telling him, I love you, brother. Don't take less than $1,000. Know your worth, King.
Imagine paying $1,000 for the CJ from San Andreas cut.
That's wild.
Could that be?
I'm just saying though, $1,000 for one haircut.
Oh no, here we go again.
I don't care how crisp the hairline
Nah, bro.
is. There is no way you are charging more than 30, and even
That's extreme.
Hey,
that is pushing it.
Diddy, I'm congratulations on being able to spend that, but a lot of us can't do that. So
Hey, bro.
You're not even paying for the
King of
haircut.
Ciroc?
No, that
Yeah.
barber is not even charging for the cut. They're charging because famous people come to get my
Yeah.
haircut.
And honestly, I feel like he's paying just for the fact that he just keeps him around, you know?
It's like
Yeah.
no, like
Hey,
why are you getting so mad at other
Hey,
people's
bro.
pockets? Listen, I am about $300 in debt on my main card, but I can't put $1 of money to that because every dollar I make has to go to other places. So it generally makes me a little annoyed when people are just like, oh, yeah.
Sounds like
$60
you're
for a haircut."
financially irresponsible, my friend.
No, sounds like TD
kidding.
Bank likes to give me what's it called, upcharge fees, or no, it's not, overcharge fees, when their deal was only if I go over 50, and I wake up to $170 and overdraft fees when I only went past $20.
Hey,
But that's
bro.
for enough. That's for a conversation between me and my bank. But nonetheless, I am a college student, and these are problems that I found out a lot of us have to deal with. So it generally annoys me when people
Yeah.
brag about, oh yeah, if you really know your worth, you should be paying $100, $1,000 for a haircut. And it makes me very.
Hey, bro, know your worth, King. Charge $1,000 a cut. I will say, even if I had hypothetical
people are
Diddy
stupid.
money, if I had Diddy money, I still don't think I'd ever be in a place where I'd be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
think $1,000 is a fair price
It
for a
just
haircut.
seems excessive.
Way
Rich
too
for no-
excessive,
for
man.
no reason.
Rich
Like, unless
people
I-
are stupid.
Yeah. My thing is this: I'd have to be getting a haircut for like 2 days straight for that to be even
Yeah.
close to the price. Like, I'd have to be getting an extreme hair makeover. Like, if I went bald and I had to be like in a chair for 2 days to get hair back,
Yeah.
I would probably go to that
I think
extreme.
that
That hair better
haircut
give me-
wonderful.
That hair better give me the
Mm.
powers of the Black Panther. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
I feel like they provide a lot. Like he probably goes to this man's house probably every day,
That's what I
probably
think. Yeah.
at random calls, just like, hey, I need you to come over and like clean me up. And then I imagine he also throws in some like extra fun stuff like candy or something.
Candy,
Candy?
Amina? Candy?
Well, if something else has to add up, maybe he's giving him like facials and like
Oh,
Amina,
giving him a good like hair.
nah, nah.
I
or
guarantee
something.
you, he's rich and he's just stupid. There is
Wow.
No,
That
he's
too.
definitely just staying at the house all day, and he's giving him cuts whenever.
There's an easier way to get a haircut. It's called do it yourself.
Lana, that's very hard to do. I think you're underestimating the powers of a barber, because I've tried giving myself a haircut, and for a little bit, it was working. There's one time you mess up once, it's right. You got to shave the whole thing.
Well, then there's another
I would
simple way.
not
Ask a
outwit
You can
friend
get a
to do
toupee.
it for you.
It's the same problem though, Lana. They make one little. You got to just go a one all around.
I know. a
And
lot
then
of
I'm
people-
bald. Then I look like a mole, or like a mole rat.
You gotta
walking
find the
around.
right person. I
Oh man, I messed up. We gotta go bald.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and trust my
So you're gonna
my
pull-
barber.
I need a
pull
new
camo
barber.
and just shave it all off.
I need a new
You
one
have
here.
to, because what if you mess up just once, Lana?
Ugh.
It's a wrap for the whole.
Exactly.
See, I guess I can't
And
really
then
just.
you're gonna walk around looking like him, who looks like a dark-skinned Andrew Tate. We can't do that.
I'm not trying to look like Andrew Tate.
That's
I
crazy.
guess I just can't really because I have long hair and just like a little
goodness.
bit is.
Yeah.
just gonna
Oh my
cover it.
goodness.
It's different, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
Hey,
they
man.
make like wigs for guys now.
that's true.
See, Amina, I would
I
probably
need to
have
go get
do
my lace
that.
front.
One of my biggest fears is going bald, and I would probably wear a wig if I went
Or
bald.
you could put a little makeup on the bald spot.
Nah,
You know,
have
that
to just get
spray in a
surgery or get
can?
a wig.
You know, I've really wanted dreads for the
Surge-
longest, but I'm scared
Yeah.
of the ugly phase for the first year. I cannot walk around looking like the black girl from Orange Is the New Black. So
Wow.
that has kept me from getting dreads
That
for the
is
longest.
crazy.
That is wild. And speaking of wild, let's talk about Mariah Carey. Go ahead, take it away, JT.
Oh man, we can now officially confirm that Mariah Carey is not the Queen of Christmas or even the holiday's princess, according to the U.S. Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. Carey, whose 1994 hit All I Want for Christmas Is You has become one of the most recognizable parts of the holiday season. Due to the classic holiday song, she filed a petition last year to trademark the name Queen of Christmas, but that petition failed because it belongs to Kelly Clarkson. Anyway, that was under the script. According to a press release by Christmas music artist Elizabeth Chan, she is the world's only full-time Christmas music recording artist that has held the nickname Queen of Christmas for years, as have other artists. According to the release, the trademark board not only rejected Carey's request to exclusively use the title, but also rejected and denied her trademark request of Princess Christmas and QOC,
Queen of Christmas.
along with seeking
Yeah.
exclusive use of the name for herself. Carey attempted to use it for a range of products, including lotions, perfume, music recordings, human and animal clothing, eyewear, protective face mask, and even various milks.
Oh,
Milk?
The
That
trademark
sounded
request
gross.
included
That sounds
dozens
bomb.
of other trademarks. See, here's what happened to you, Miss High Pitch. You decided to
Miss
make a
High
diss
Pitch.
track, and as we've seen several times in history, pop artists do not do well with diss tracks, especially not when said diss track is against the guy who's been known to make people ruin careers with diss tracks. I'm referring to none other than Eminem, because notice how Mariah Carey was on the top of every genre until that famous Mariah Carey Eminem Nick Cannon feud. She made Obsess, he released The Warning. Mariah never shut up after that.
I
And then
mean,
a couple of years later, what have we known her for?
uh,
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
JT, in my opinion, not a station, the most overrated, overplayed Christmas song ever is All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Listen, no. It's Mariah Carey's version. If
It's-
you were
it's her
listening,
version.
if you were listening
I finished.
before,
Wow.
It was her version. It's her version.
Y'all
then-
got beef with Mariah
And
Carey.
then don't come at Eminem.
if you were listening before we actually started the program,
It's a program. I don't know what you're talking about. It's been a
if you
program.
were
It's always been a
listening-
program, and it'll forever be a program.
I played IQ'd Big Time Rush's version of All I Want for Christmas because that brings
Trash.
me joy. That
Just
gets me
trash.
hype. That has flavor. I've never seen a group of white boys
Hold on,
actually have
hang on. You just
Whoa,
said Big
whoa.
Time Rush has flavor.
I've never seen
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. It's three white guys in a group and a Hispanic guy that is a Trump
Oh.
supporter. All right. So therefore, I'm gonna go ahead and rescind the card. That's four white men in a teenage group. All right.
Hey,
Let's stop
wait,
saying
wait,
silly
wait,
things.
wait,
And
wait,
all-
wait.
I don't wanna hear the
black
phrase-
woman.
I don't want to hear the phrase
Wait.
spicy white or anything. All right. Get it out of your mouth because I know you're gonna say it. All right.
Wait.
I
It doesn't
didn't,
count.
and I
It's
wasn't going to.
nonsensical.
Wait.
It's ridiculous.
Wait.
You need a coffee.
I'll tell you this. Her version is iconic. It's
And annoying.
it is annoying, but it's great to sing with family. But it's so overplayed, and it's so preposterous that every
Love
5
that.
minutes it's played during the holiday season.
It's like the Thriller. I
And
think
first of all,
holiday
I think the
music,
Queen of Christmas title belongs to Kelly Clarkson.
What Kelly Clarkson song has she made that's holiday?
Underneath the
themed?
tree.
Christmas Eve, Underneath the Tree. She
That-
has her own version of all.
Can
I
I
Want
be
for
honest,
Christmas that
JT?
slaps 100 times
JT,
more. You say
moment-
some nonsense, I'm
No,
kicking
no,
you off the board.
Moment of honesty. I cannot tell you a single song she's made, and you just named them.
Wait,
you
what?
listed a
Yeah.
long list of Kelly Clarkson
Wait.
or holiday songs. I have not heard a single one of them.
I played all 3 of them.
I could not tell you which one was Kelly Clarkson. Then.
Wait.
You were so
You
bad.
said
Mm-mm.
okay. You said holiday.
Yeah,
If you-
I've heard of
if-
Kelly Clarkson songs
Here's-
before.
I would have went.
Campbell,
all
noted
those.
seasoned Kelly Clarkson supporter and fan, apparently.
I mean,
Got her back, ride or die. I appreciate it.
I mean,
I've heard
have
of
you
Kelly
heard of these
Clarkson.
songs?
I've heard a
Please tell
couple
me if you
songs.
have.
What?
You've heard of these Kelly Clarkson and Christmas songs, have you?
Nah.
No, actually, I have a Christmas
That's coming from
playlist,
Hallmark Amina
and
too.
there's Ariana Grande on there, Destiny's Child, everybody.
Those are good
but
songs.
Kelly
I'll
Clarkson
say
just
that.
didn't
Those are
make
good
it.
songs.
I just never associated Kelly Clarkson and holidays. It just
Christmas.
doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Nah.
I've never
if
heard of
you-
that before.
If you listen to Carrie
Y'all are
Underwood's version of "Oh Holy Night," it's
Y'all are horrible.
See, this is again. I don't honestly. I probably couldn't name you a Carrie Underwood song if I'm being honest.
Good girl before he cheats. My bad. There's others.
Yikes. You
There's
name
the
one I
entire-
don't know.
There's the entire soundtrack of Sound of Music.
Is she Sunday Night Football or is that another? movie?
yes, she's done that.
Okay, that's the song I know.
Speaking
Carrie
of Sound of
Underwood.
Music
Oh my
and Christmas.
gosh.
Do you want to know what's crazy to me? The fact that Sound of Music is considered a Christmas movie. It is a movie about the Holocaust, and we're comparing it to Christmas. Are you
Most
kidding me?
wonderful time of the year. Apparently.
I didn't realize. You want to know what? It has been so long since I watched Sound of Music. I didn't realize how messed up that story is until I did it in high school. Sound of Music in high school, I was a diversity hire, and when I went through that story, I was like, "Wow, this is one of the most messed up things, and it is considered one of the most touching family movies of all time." Are you kidding me?
Not good for the program. Definitely not good for the program.
Sidetrack.
Exactly.
Sidetrack.
What does it mean to be a full-time Christmas music artist?
I was thinking the same thing yesterday, Amina.
Like, does that mean you just sing Christmas songs like every
All
day
year
of the
round.
year?
Oh
Oh.
boy.
I can't.
Wait,
I
what
can't
is-
stand
Like,
that.
No,
imagine
I
a
get
Christmas
that's
album
This-
in
well,
June.
After Thanksgiving dinner is when you put on Christmas.
Well, no,
music.
And
That's my opinion.
No. I think second week of November it's valid.
Nah.
No,
Well,
No.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's when
Here's the
I
thing.
think that's when it's seasonally acceptable to start playing
Yeah.
Christmas.
Because you can't play it earlier because it's still Halloween.
Yeah,
territory.
I'll let the Halloween people enjoy the first week of November as it kind of bleeds in together. Soon as week 2 begins in November, you can play your Christmas
Because you can't be festive for Thanksgiving. You get one day.
Yeah.
You get a day.
You get a
Maybe-
day.
No.
There's no
If
Thanksgiving song.
If I'm being nice, you get a weekend. But there's nothing else you could do. Listen, the
Facts.
entire month of
Facts.
December, I have a Santa suit in the office right now that I can wear every day, all through 25 days on Christmas. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? And am I walking around in a turkey inflatable all of November? No. Am I walking around just like a pilgrim? No. I will lose every job I could possibly ever get.
Facts. See?
Do sing greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes every day? No.
Why do you have
Absolutely
why
not.
do you have to sing a holiday song? Why can't you just go back to your regular music?
Well, that's year round, Lana. All right. I think
No.
just because you want a war on the holidays, Lana, don't mean you gotta bring us down.
Lana,
too, all right.
Lana's what the white people be talking about when they say there's a war on Christmas and they blame Starbucks and everybody.
Starbucks. Good lord. Hey, the holiday.
Oh yeah, no,
comes,
it's not
guys.
Starbucks. It's me. I'm the war on Christmas.
You are the war. You're a Grinch.
Nonetheless, referring to what it means to be a Christmas artist, if you're an artist in general and you want to do anything related to Christmas, it is an all year project because I
don't believe that.
no, I'm serious. The Christmas project that I'm working on right now, I've been preparing since June, and I'm highly debating a collaborative Christmas album for next year, and I got to start planning it now. You can't start a Christmas project in November.
Well, that's true. That's just how things work, though. You can't just. start
I
anything a
get
week
people think
before.
that because like that's when the mood happens. Like I remember writing it, and I was literally in a side station of Olive Garden writing a Christmas song, and somebody's like, "It's June. Why are you doing that now?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'm gonna start writing a Christmas song and planning a music video in middle of November, and have 3 weeks to do it."
Well, it just
sure.
it makes sense. Absolutely. You
Art
know what
takes time.
also makes sense is the amount of money Black Panther.
I saw
is
it
making.
yesterday. Go to movie.
Really? Okay, that's
That was
good.
so good though.
All right. Hey, everyone, stop it. All right.
No.
Just stop talking. No, I'm kidding.
Does Isaiah have
Uh,
feelings about Black Panther.
I want to watch it. All right. I haven't seen it yet. Now let's talk about it though, because a very vibrant,
me mad, I'm
fun way
spoiling
leading
it for you.
into Thanksgiving for sure. Movie theaters is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is headed to a second weekend, down around minus 60% for $70 to $72 million. Through 5 days, the Ryan Coogler directed Disney and Marvel Studios sequel has amassed, good lord, $204.8 million and $12.4 million for the third best Tuesday of November, after Frozen, which earned $20.8 million, and Hunger Games: Catching Fire, shout out to the Lord and Savior Jennifer Lawrence, at $15.96 million back in 2013. Now, while some believe Wakanda Forever's running time might be its Achilles heel in regards to its long legs, it is the only must-see title on the marquee for those off from school, which is about 45% are going to be off Monday, 80% Monday and Tuesday, and then 80% on break Wednesday, and then obviously 100% on Thanksgiving as well as Black Friday. So I expect a lot of people probably are going to be watching this movie next week. More importantly, congrats to Black Panther. I'm happy to see the success of this film. Now,
Forever.
spoiler free, Wakanda Forever. Amina and JT, you've seen the program. Out of 10, what would you give it?
9.
9. All right, that's high praise.
Same.
Amina, another 9. Now, I know it's kind of hard to compare. Is it better or worse than the original one?
I think I'm gonna let Amina go first because I got a hot take.
Here we go. JT's gonna say something.
Silence.
Stupid. I know
Amina,
for a fact. he's gonna
Amina,
say something
speak.
stupid.
Okay, I wouldn't say, like, I don't think that's actually it's not in that scale. It's not worse than the first Black Panther, but it's a completely different story. So you can't like say like,
It's comparing
I don't know,
apples to
I feel like
oranges.
it's
is what
weird
you're saying.
saying that it's better than the first Black Panther because I feel like they're both equally good in different storylines. I
Okay.
really enjoy both.
Capping off of that, there's a specific reason why I don't feel like I can compare it to the first one. And I said it last night, and I'm gonna need you to shut up and let me finish before you cut me off, because I know when you're.
I'm letting you go, man. I'm letting
Good,
it
because you're
fly.
gonna want to cut me off when I say this. Nonetheless, I have a really hot take when it comes to this topic in general. I feel that despite the beauty of the tribute that was paid to Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther 2, I really do feel, thinking from a logistical, cinematic, and logical standpoint.
Oh
that-
God, we should have recast the Black Panther.
Yes.
Okay, we're done here. We're gonna mute your
Yes.
mic because this is
Okay.
ridiculous.
I told you to
Oh,
let me
my
finish
God.
because I knew you were going to cut me off.
What a porous take on this third.
Think
You're
about it.
using porous
Think
in
about
my
it.
vocabulary.
Think about it.
I've never.
There's
heard a
nothing to
crying
think
take
about.
in my
I know
life.
it's kind of
What
hard.
a
I
shame.
know it's hard for you, Zay, but use your brain for a little bit. Okay?
Oh man,
Let's put that Cookie Monster jar up there.
what a lazy, cold
No,
take.
no.
Jay.
Matter of fact, you the one with the lazy take, and I'm gonna tell you why. Think about the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
Why is
man.
it successful? Because every single one of their projects in each phase has been in a development for 10 years. Black Panther 2 was planned before Infinity War came out. They had to push it back twice, not just because of COVID, but because of Chadwick Boseman's death. Do you realize how
But
recasting him probably messed up the plot line for 10 other Marvel films down the line? They almost scrapped it. The only reason they didn't scrap it was because of when you see the movie, you're going to realize just how much more films down the line were proposed. They probably had to sit in that writing room for 10 hours debating what are we going to do. And the only singular reason, because they debated recasting him for a while, the singular reason, if they recasted T'Challa, it could have been a 10 out of 10 movie, but people like your slow-minded self would have not seen the movie because it was not Chadwick Boseman. So, beautiful movie, still 9 out of 10. Yes. Would it have probably done it more justice in the long run if they had just recasted him and done justice? Yes. Would Chadwick would have wanted that? Yes, because Chadwick, unlike you, Zay, had a brain.
I think Isaiah's asleep now.
Exactly. It was too much for his smallest brain to comprehend.
I think we're done with the worst singular take in morning.
Oh, was that too much thinking
history.
for you, baby?
I have never heard such a terrible take on a movie or just an idea in my lifetime. And I've heard a lot of bad things. I've heard a
Oh,
lot of bad things.
God.
Yeah,
said
half of them
by
coming out your own
political
mouth.
people, from actors. I mean, I've covered a lot of things from Ezra Miller, and I would say what you just said is even worse.
Of course,
right?
you've heard a lot of
Good
bad things. They come
Lord,
from
all
your
right?
head.
That is the coldest take. It's just I don't understand
it's
the
facts,
thought
though.
process
It's
within
facts.
that. Amina, very quickly, because you saw the movie, I'd like to get your opinions very quickly. Are you on the same wavelength as JT here?
No.
All right, thank you very much. Because what JT said might possibly be the
Y'all don't
most
use
idiotic
Like,
thing I've ever heard in my
y'all
life.
don't use your brain.
Does
I
any-
get it, but I feel like also it's not like it was a complete. I feel like having like the way they did it, it wasn't a completely random thing that they
No.
just improvised.
All
Like
I'll
this
say
actually
is,
happened.
all I'll say is, you'll see what I'm talking about with the more
Nah,
movies. to
all I'm
come.
saying, JT, is this, all right? If Chadwick Boseman
Mhm,
got into controversy and they had to fire him, I
mhm.
get recasting T'Challa, right? But the fact that it was such an impactful moment where everyone was like caught off guard by it, no one had any clue, and he passed away the way he passed away, recasting him would be the worst PR move in the history of PR moves
You-
for any company.
You do
Not
realize
only
you
that,
just
not
proved my point, right?
Not only that, but having to watch a movie in which you have such an iconic character and you know he passed away in real life, and it's like Will Smith is now Black Panther. Do you understand what I mean?
You do
Because that would
realize-
be, not for nothing, that would be the move if they were to recast.
You do
Black Panther.
realize you just proved my point.
What are you talking about?
My entire point was the reason that they didn't go with the logical way is because of PR. PR outweighed logic in this. And in the moment, it was a still beautiful
As it
movie.
should be.
High silence for half a second.
No, I'm
say
not
that.
gonna let you spew this nonsense
No,
anymore. All right,
I'm
they made
serious.
the right decision.
They made the right
because it
decision
just-
in the moment. I'm telling you.
And today,
I'm telling you, when we
Bro,
see
this
the
is the
rest of these
coldest-
films,
this is
we're going to
ridiculous.
see
This is
exactly what I'm
awful.
talking about. Imagine if,
Come
imagine,
on, this is-
imagine if Robert Downey Jr. died in the middle of filming Civil
I don't think
they
it
would.
would
You
be.
Whole
think
Civil War came around, they had
God.
everything up until Endgame plan. He dies, we don't recast Iron Man. Everything surrounding Iron Man all the way up until Civil War has to be written around.
Can I-
The
can I-
iconic
hold on.
I am Iron Man snap, gone.
JT,
All of that
JT,
gone.
JT.
Use your brain for
Oh,
half a
question
second.
for you, JT. Do you remember the Fast and Furious movies?
Yes,
Do you remember when Paul Walker died in real life?
yes.
Do you think they should have recasted Paul
No.
Walker?
What do you mean
There
it's
you
not
go.
the
Well, it's not
same?
even- Your mic is muted.
And
Moving on. It's the same exact concept.
this is why DC is better.
The Lana gets it. Hey guys, we're gonna move on into our next story because this is an atrocity. I had to mute JT's mic because
I had to lower.
What
I
a
had to
cold
move my
take.
headset.
what a
And
cold
I took my
take.
headset off because I need
All the
to.
You see, Campbell, I get it, man. He's out of control. Out of
Is it
control.
And
Good lord. Oh man.
Isaiah Ramirez.
Yes.
Oh
Status.
jeez. Amina, we'll let you take head into break.
Evil.
Sure. Like, great. All right. Sorry,
Monstrosity.
JT. This is for like doing my newscast.
Payback.
Oh, yeah.
Ralphie Parker's childhood home on West 11th Street in Tremont is officially up for sale. The Bumpus House Museum and detached garage home to a 1939 Ford LaFrance fire truck, like the one in the movie, are included in the sale. The owner paid $150,000 for it back in 2004 when he bought it off eBay. The list price is currently unknown, but the owner said that it was time to put the house up for sale. And, you know, the new movie, A Christmas Story Christmas, comes out.
Oh, today. Never mind. My bad. Yeah. Hey, isn't that you know what I find crazy about the story, Amina and friends, is the fact, I don't know what's going on over there. The fact that this movie or that house was bought for $150,000 on eBay. Isn't that crazy? Someone bought a home off of eBay.com.
I don't know if that's a trustworthy site to buy a house
I
on.
guess it worked out though. I mean, he's going to make a huge bag when you think, like, especially just buying a home in general now, and the fact that it has such an iconic movie with it. But There you go, man.
And I never understood why people do that though. Like they want to buy things from like movies just to sell it, and then it's like, okay, the person buying it, why do you want it?
Yeah, I mean,
Especially for that
I
much
guess it's a
money.
collector's thing.
also the fact that it was running as a museum for a while too, I'm sure he probably made already a lot of money off of the property. I
Mhm.
imagine.
I want to know, like, is the house like still like?
It looks exactly the same.
So it's like it's stuck in like the 40s then.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
The
The first movie took place in the 40s.
That's
So
crazy.
does that mean there's no microwave in it?
Ah, man.
Whoa.
I would hope so. I hope
'Cause-
that. Jeez.
Maybe because microwaves didn't exist in the 40s.
I'm sure you have. Well, maybe he wasn't even living in it. Maybe it was
I
just
know
operating
that.
as a museum.
How do I know that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That I'm not sure how I know, but I know they didn't exist in the 40s. You have to.
Lana just be knowing things, huh?
Yeah. Unlike Isaiah.
I have a lot of random facts in my head that instead of what I actually need to know, and it's kind of
I hope you know for
Problem.
the rest of this program, I will be coming for
Lana-
your neck.
Actually, microwaves did
Ruthless.
exist in the 40s.
Oh.
they did?
Started in 1940 in England.
Oh,
England.
So you're wrong.
Tyler Campbell.
well,
Tyler. Yeah. But Campbell, do
Then-
an English accent right now.
White on white crime.
Oh,
wait, now I remember where I heard that from. I
Good
think my mother lied to me.
Campbell's given
Oh
up.
my God.
JT has gone over the deep end. Let's go ahead and take a break.
You've
Come back.
gone over the deacon.
Guys, it's been an excellent program. I'm not
I'm
gonna
not-
lie. It's been
Well,
incredible.
I'm not the one who
Yeah, no thanks to
was
you.
talking about Black Panther and is going back and forth.
Hey, man.
Listen,
JT, you can get
Zay
your
Zay
act
has
together.
angered me, so I will be coming for his uvula for the rest of the program.
Hey, bruh. We own a break. When we come back, more Morning Buzz stuff. And we are back. Finally, we are back here on the Morning Buzz. As not for nothing, but the singer that was just on, Rosalia, something that she does, which I find absolutely disgusting, is eat spoonfuls of mayonnaise. So, if you ever get in contact with people from Spain, just know they are very interesting human beings, and we'll leave it at that. Now, we head into a segment unlike no other, a segment in which we have to hand out the L today, as a tale as old as time is coming back as always. The IRS will collect their money, and for a 39-year-old St. Petersburg man, he was arrested for allegedly making fraudulent requests for tax refunds to the IRS and using money to purchase some big-time things. According to the indictment filed in the Middle District of Florida, Matthew Meredith submitted 5 claims for tax refund between August 2019 and February 2020. In total, these claims exceeded, I don't know, casual $170 million. And authorities say Meredith falsified his income and withholdings in each of the claims. Now, on November 23rd, 2019, the IRS issued Meredith a check for $6,374,576 and even 92 cents for his first submitted claim. The next day, Meredith filed a second fraudulent tax refund claim, this time seeking just under $4 million. Meredith then used the money for an initial refund to purchase a 6,500 square foot waterfront mansion in St. Petersburg, Florida. Then we went for a casual 6 luxury Mercedes-Benz vehicles with a total of over $843,000. Prosecutors say Meredith's tax fraud scheme occurred while he was under supervised release from a 2016 federal conviction on drug-related charges. Meredith was released after paying $50,000 in bail. Court's documents show this. The conditions of his release also require him to live at his parents' St. Petersburg home while awaiting trial, and Meredith is charged with making false claims against the government, theft of government property, and money laundering, according to the court documents. And if he's convicted on all counts, Meredith could face up to 75 years in federal prison. So, guys, just a reminder, if at any point the IRS gives you money, too much money, not enough money, they will get their money back at all costs, and they will probably put you behind bars. And that is one of my biggest fears is indeed the IRS.
I'm telling you, whenever tax season comes around, I always get scared at the end when it's in bold letters. If you fill out anything wrong, you're going to jail. Because I'm like, I don't even know how to read these papers you give me.
Yeah, I would just be like, listen, guys, if anything's wrong, I will fix it. That's on me. I will give you the money back. I'm just saying, I feel like we can reach an agreement where we both understand I might make a mistake. And if so, that's on me. I would like not to go to jail. But this man, to purchase a whole mansion and 6 Mercedes-Benzes?
Jesus.
See, like, I always wonder how they catch people doing this. And it's usually when they start getting really...
Bro, like, if you're going to do it like...
Who needs 6 Mercedes-Benz?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you just bought one, I feel like the IRS probably would have been a couple more years later. They'd find you eventually. But the fact that you bought 6, like, no, you don't think anyone's going to find that suspicious?
Also, a mansion.
A waterfront mansion in Florida? Oh, this man was crazy.
I wonder what it's like to work for the IRS.
Terrible. I imagine any government job's probably the worst job on earth.
They always look like
Miserable.
no matter what form, even like your local courthouse people, they are always so miserable.
Yeah.
Well,
I went to a courthouse the other week for a film permit, and that clerk just talked to me like she hated every aspect of her life, and I heard it in
I feel like they always talk the same
I
to
mean,
you.
not only in the courthouse, but the DMV is.
They go up there all perky.
You have an appointment?
I go up there all
Mhm.
perky and like, calm, because I know what I look like, so I gotta put on my best voice, I gotta put on my best thing, and I come in there, smile on my face, gotta like try to look like as friendly Afro-American as possible, and I go in there and she's just like, "Where's your stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's right here, ma'am. How's your day?" She goes, "You don't have everything here." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." She goes, "Come back tomorrow."
Come back tomorrow. You must leave the premise. Anyways, guys, 75 in years, man. Okay. Not for nothing. I feel like today's lesson is
Don't steal money from the government.
don't steal money, especially if the IRS is going to be involved. They will get their money back. What's up next, JT? We got some W for
man.
Misty 100s.
I guess so. Running a marathon is quite grueling, some would say, and so a lot of people would say it's a waste of the day. but a marathon requires a ton of work from your lungs and your respiratory system. Now imagine deliberately making that feat even more grueling by adding a bunch of cigarettes. That's what a runner in recent Yangjing marathon in China chose to do. A runner that goes by the name Uncle Chen. Oh my, that sounds like a movie starring, for some reason, Robert Freeman. Ran the Xinjiang Marathon in 3 hours and 28 minutes while chain smoking cigarettes. After the race, photos of Uncle Chen chain smoking surfaced on the Chinese social media app Weibo. They have since gone viral. When people online began questioning the legitimacy of the accomplishment, marathon organizers shared his finishing certificate from the marathon. He miraculously finished 574th in the 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 45 seconds out of a group of nearly 1,500 competitors, all while smoking. I'm sorry for giggling through. I'm
That
really
is
sorry.
hilarious.
No,
That he woke up that morning and it's like, I'm not only gonna run a marathon, I'm gonna go through a bunch of packs of cigarettes.
it's the
And I think I read also like he's done before.
Yeah,
of course.
not
the
his
reason
first
I was
time.
That
laughing.
man's lungs.
You know those you know, remember
Incredible.
that trend of movies that came out where it was just like today baiting as another race or gender is seen as like disgusting, but there's a certain time period where we had movies like Big Mama and White Chicks come out where it was just, you know, black people parading as women, black people parading as white people.
Mhm.
For some reason, Uncle Chen sounds like a movie starring Chris Rock about a guy that goes undercover in China and he just calls himself Uncle Chen. And I think that, and as I'm reading at what he's doing, I just more and more see Chris Rock in his best Jackie Chan garb, smoking
Honestly,
cigarettes on a marathon, and I couldn't help but cackle at that idea.
that probably was in the works at some point, I would imagine, without a doubt. That was definitely a pitch to a Hollywood executive, and then someone was probably like, this one might be a little too far, guys. This one might be, this might get us in some trouble. But hey man, I just can't imagine being one of the competitors next to him. Like, say you're always just like the same speed as this guy, you're just constantly breathing in smoke. That's such an ugly smell too. Anyways, guys, you know it's not ugly. Apparently Subway, because they're always fresh. Have you ever wanted to get a sandwich from a vending machine?
No.
No? Well, apparently now you can with the foot-long overlords at Subway. Subway publicly unveiled its first grab-and-go smart fridge filled with pre-made sandwiches, snacks, and drinks. The machine debuted in September at the University of California, San Diego, and the company plans to add more across North America. They plan to add them in high-traffic areas like college campuses, airports, and hospitals. Local franchises will prepare and deliver sandwiches to refrigerators, which are equipped with artificial intelligence and natural language processing. So customers can choose to order verbally and have a contactless experience. Initial reaction from customers have been, quote, extremely positive, according to Subway. In 2020, the company began selling pre-made sandwiches in regular fridges at retail locations like casinos, gas stations, and airports. And Subway said that the program has rolled out to 400 locations with plans for continued growth in the coming year. It's just one of many recent new programs from Subway, as the company is in the midst of remodeling its brand image and selection. And we get into more stuff about Subway, but who cares? Because they've been around for a long time. Anyways,
This has got to be the most ghetto thing ever.
jeez.
Does that mean Montclair? Are we getting a Subway?
Oh,
vending
right?
machine?
That would honestly probably be a better option than a lot of places already here.
I
you
mean,
know?
we ghetto too. I
Hey,
can
hey,
imagine one in
hey.
Stone Hall somewhere.
Hey, Jersey Mike's is
Nah, you're right. I do rocks with Jersey Mike.
Jersey
Jersey
Mike's
Mike's
is
is good.
Yeah, I like the Chipotle chicken sandwich there.
Guy.
Guy rock.
You're not a sub guy?
Nah.
I like a sub from time to time. Yeah, I like the rosemary bread instead of the white bread if I'm
I
going to
heard
Jersey
that's
Mike.
good.
It tastes good, man. I'm a fan
Tastes
of
good.
it. Yeah. Amina, you're muted right now, but what do you think about the whole Subway thing?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
for,
really
like-
hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's more so if you don't like Subway, just don't get it. But I think it's a good idea though.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, especially if I think the interesting part about it is that local Subways are making the sandwiches and then putting it in the like container or in the
Yeah.
vending machine. So it is
And I feel
somewhat
like that's
fresher.
fresher.
Yeah, like it's
Mhm.
not just like a random
Mhm.
shipment of sandwiches.
It's
It's like
not
they're
like they've-
making it daily.
They've been in there for like a day.
Yeah, I guess that would be the question: is how do I know if it's fresh or not?
I mean, that is the
Did
slogan.
Was it ever
see?
fresh?
Yeah.
No.
All right, all right. But
come
yeah,
on,
I think that'd be
JT.
pretty cool, especially if
Mhm.
in a place like a mall or even on like not a mall, but like what do you call those things? An
Convenience.
airport. There you go. That's the word.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but if I ever say, let me get something for the vending machine, I'm expecting to come back with a bag of Chips Ahoy or something, not a whole.
Well, I mean, if
doggone
you
sandwich.
I don't know if you've seen like in Japan and Korea, like they have
Oh,
just like huge
it's
vending
insane.
machines dedicated to just
It's
hot
insane.
meals or
Yeah.
sandwiches or even beverages too. So I think it's like about time, it makes sense that the United States would
We
invest
need
in
that.
something like
Like,
that.
we really need that.
Yeah, especially like
it's
in
very
college
innovative.
campuses, you're trying to get from a lot of commuters have like 15 minutes between classes. Especially like me at
Yeah.
one point, I had like 5 classes in one day, so it's like, when do I have time to actually eat? So I think that would be very beneficial.
And like
I like
they,
the idea.
they have hot drink vending machines here on campus. And
Really?
yeah.
Where?
See, that's
There's
understandable.
one
I
in the
can see
student
that.
center and one in university. They're
Really?
those green like canteen machines, and you can get hot coffee or hot
No
chocolate or
way.
something like
Are they
that.
good? Have you tried it?
See, that actually makes a little bit of sense.
So that's a food thing.
I don't see myself getting a sandwich out of a vending machine.
I think I would try it just to say. Well, it depends on how it looks as well.
I
There's a
feel
lot
like
of
because Subway,
factors.
though, people are more inclined to
Yeah.
get it.
It seems more reliable,
How does a sandwich out of a machine seem more reliable than a sandwich?
You
made
just
right
got to
in front
evolve
of
with the
you?
times. I don't know if we can take opinions from someone who's willing to recast
I
Chadwick
think-
Boseman.
I don't know if we can
I
take
think-
opinion for somebody who doesn't know how to say the word program. Cookie
Program?
Monster.
Program. And once again,
I'm still.
How
going
did Cookie
from-
Monster become an insult?
I don't know. I don't even understand where it
I
came.
mean,
Oh, I'll explain after.
All right.
I'm still reeling from the toxicity of the Marvel universe within this show from the past.
We love-
probably half hour.
Because Zay Zay has horrible opinions.
Hey,
Anyway,
listen.
next
We
story.
started with.
You say it again. That's why DC's better.
All right.
And then
we're
we
gonna
have
give
Lana
you
that
guys
like
the mic.
it's between Isaiah and Lana. They just fight for the worst opinions
This
on
is
this
terrible.
station every day.
Hey, let's-
Amina will have her moments where she'll say something stupid, but then she'll make up for it right after.
See,
So like, we
JT
gotta
wants
give
to
her
like pretend like he lives life where he's just always right, and that again
And then-
shows, right? Amina,
No,
toxic
that.
masculinity.
No,
where he just wants
I know
to
what you're
say
wrong.
he's right all the
See,
time.
the difference between me and
Blah
you,
blah blah
the
blah.
difference between me and you, Isaiah, is when
JT,
I'm wrong,
never
I don't say
wrong.
anything.
When
When I'm wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about, I just don't say anything. Maybe you should take notes. Maybe you should take notes, Isaiah.
And I may be dumb, but I'm dumb and proud.
that
Maybe that's Isaiah's slogan. Maybe you should at least Alana's proud to have dumb opinions.
no.
On the other
No,
hand,
no.
sit up there all high and mighty
Let's-
like
What is this
I'm-
conversation?
I'm openly dumb, JT, but I think you're observantly stupid. All right, now let's get into our last story of the day. Jody apparently, and let's talk about a deer.
Let me read this because we actually like Jody.
Yeah, we
unlike
got
you,
Jody.
Zay
Jody.
Zay.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Jody, and Jody's a big fan of me because she understands entertainment. And she understands smart
Jody could-
opinions.
Maybe Jody could teach you to make sense. Anyway, according to owner registered service deer Jody Miller from West Virginia, DNR officers allegedly confiscated her animal. Oh my God, you bit me. According to Miller, the white-tailed deer known as Twitch reportedly had a minor injury leading up to when it was taken. Miller said her and her family had rescued Twitch and have been raising her since she was 2 days old. Twitch is registered under the USA Service registration under the breed of other. Banned pets within the mountain states include lions, tigers, and bears, elephants, gray wolves, cheetahs, alligators, crocodiles, and hyenas.
Oh my.
In a statement, officials said West Virginia Division of Natural Resources responded to a complaint involving the illegal possession of a white-tailed deer at a residence located in Summers County. The female deer, estimated to be 1.5 years old, was removed from the residence. The incident remains under investigation, and the West Virginian Division of Natural Resources reminds people that possessing wildlife without a permit is illegal. Further, live white-tailed deer may not be removed from the wild and possessed from the purposes.
9.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair.
That scared me.
Cute. Removing and handling wild animals present a health and safety risk to both humans and wildlife. The West Virginia Division of Natural Resources is charged with managing and protecting the state's fish and wildlife resources for the use, benefit, and enjoyment of its citizens. Now, Jody Miller is dearless.
Oh.
How dare you steal Bambi from Jody? You know what, Jody, if I was you, I wouldn't stand for this disrespect. I would stick it to the man. This is exactly the type of nonsense we're talking about.
Bro, not for
You go
nothing,
get Twitch back.
but like, why did she take Twitch in the first place? Like, why did she think?
Why does it
was-
matter, Zay?
No, I'm just saying, it's like, what made Jody Miller decide to take a random deer from the wild?
And why is it registered under the service dog?
Like, what did she think was gonna happen? No one's gonna notice the deer in her house.
Wait, if it's registered as a service dog, so does that mean she walks around in restaurants with
I guess
service
so.
deer?
Like, I don't know.
Imagine, as they say, imagine working in Walmart and some woman walks in with a deer on a
Yo,
and you go, got a card for her?
yo, not for nothing though. I would honestly probably say, well, I kind of expected that at this point. That would not even surprise me.
Oh.
There was one guy though that was before we close out the show, say goodbye for the week. Because we're actually not gonna be back next Thursday, guys, due to Thanksgiving. So we'll be back in 2 weeks,
It'd
but
be a
Hopefully,
holiday.
it makes more
December.
sense in 2 weeks.
in December. There is this lady that came in with a dog, and it was like her service dog, or it might have just been her normal dog. But like the guy up front was just so annoyed by this. So he went up to her and was like, do you have your card and information? He was like really aggressive about it. And the lady and this guy were arguing for like 35 minutes. So it got to the point where at one point she was like, all right, you caught me. It is not a service dog. And then it was like, all right, you gotta leave now. And it was just like, why do we have to fight that hard if it's not even your service dog, bro? You just
It's
wasted a
the
lot of time.
attitude over the delivery. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you say. You could be making perfect sense, but if you've got a rude attitude, I'm gonna fight with you just because I don't gotta stand for that.
Oh man.
Sir,
Yeah, you're right.
it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of things that we probably shouldn't say, JT saying we should recast Shadow.
Silence!
It's a lesson we learned as I muted that mic because nobody's trying to hear JT anymore. Thank you guys for listening to the program. It's been a great ride. I've muted all of them, man. It's been a great ride. Amina, we can't thank you enough for coming back on the program. We hope you enjoyed your time in Georgia. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, guys,
Turn my mic
tomorrow.
back on.
Friday, guys, as usual. Until next time.
You forgot I have a button.
Ciao.
You're listening to WMSC.
Upper Montclair.
In 1966, a Montclair State student named Ed Roby created WMSC, which, if you didn't know, was originally